Hi, YouTube. So, we're going to start with the news, and then go on to a very special subject that kind of popped up today that I need to talk about, and it's kind of personal. So, first off, Trump is out. He's going out. I give him by the end of the year, and he will be out of office. So, why James Comey's testimony that we talked about on my last video worked. He's basically said, you can't trust the president. You can't trust our president to have any of the American people's needs at the forefront. So, that said, we're going to move on to the next piece of news. Pride is happening today. A lot of people are across the country are marching, holding celebrations, whatever. Many of them have been resistance marches against Trump, the president. We get it. That's all the news that I have for today. Now we're gonna kind of move on to our the special subject today. We're gonna talk about drugs, and one drug in particular. We're gonna talk about methamphetamine, or meth, or crystal meth, or crystal, or T. I don't know how she gets all these names. Tina. It is Sunday, the 11th, and on Friday the 9th, I was kicked out of my bed at the shelter over that way. I was down. I had just gotten my my medication for my depression, and I didn't know what to do. So I panicked, and I reached out to every guy that I could on different apps, and one hit. I'm not going to say names because he doesn't deserve to be called out. I went to his place, and we started smoking. We started smoking meth. Now, I thought it would be, somewhere in the realm of like 2-3 hours of smoking. I think I should do this one instead, not this one. Because you actually do have to hold the pipe like that. But it wasn't, because the moment I got it in me, I got horny, and I wanted to actually be topped, meaning I wanted to be fucked, meaning I wanted a man to put his penis in places that I shouldn't say on YouTube. So he felt the same way, and we both started reaching out again to different apps. I have I see Grindr, Scruff, Daddy Hunt, Adam for Adam. Okay, Grindr, Scruff, Daddy Hunt, Adam for Adam, Manhunt, and there's one other one. So I was going between 6 different apps, and I was able to land 2. And I thought, you know what? One top can have him. The other top, which I've actually been talking to for the last 3 weeks, I would have him. Anyways, so they both came over. The guy that was getting me high suddenly felt queasy. He didn't feel right because the other 2 weren't smoking, and they didn't want to smoke. It's understandable. So he basically said, you know what, you just take care of it, and security officers are here. Wee, wee, wee. Oh, I think somebody's being evicted from the library. Okay, so my guy, proceeded to do what he needed to do with me, and then the other guy did, and they left. And oh my God, sorry. And I was happy. I was happy for about 5 minutes, and then the hunt continued, and the hunt continued all. I mean, we're talking. This ended at like probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and it continued on through to the next night, just going from different app to different app, trying to find somebody. And the guy who was hosting me basically getting more and more pissed because he's not used to having somebody in his house for such a long time. He lives in a studio apartment alone, just alone, alone. But he had promised that I could stay through Sunday. So, we kind of made plans to go to a bathhouse, and I was all for it. Communion, Cummunion, I know, right? As in come, yeah, was happening Saturday night. So we would be able to go and get fucked as many times as we wanted, and it would be amazing. Sorry. Kind of the downfall of having to do this in public. And we both kept smoking, and we smoked while we waited, and he was trying to get somebody to come over to kind of, so he could kind of bridge the gap between us, for amount of people who have screwed us. I had 2. He had 1. And he kept waiting and waiting, and it got to be about 2:33 in the morning, and he finally said, I need some me time. Can you find someone to take you in for like an hour? And I did, and at that point, I was so high. I will tell you that I'll tell you later on in the story how high I was, but I became a little agitated. I had been without sleep for over 24 hours. It was kind of like one of those why are you trying to kick me out type situations. And thankfully he looked at my bag and said, just leave that here, just go out, just go to his place, and then come back and dial in like you did when you first got here. So I left, had conversations with the people in my head, Tiffany, Lucifer, Shantae. Those are the 3 main ones. Napoleon came out at one point on the way back. I went to his place, and I could barely. I mean, it was a climb uphill. I could barely breathe. I was sweating all over, and I was losing my high. Because exercise tends to make you secrete whatever's in your body through sweat. Now, we attempted stuff. Couldn't. I was able to get them off. Things were great. I left, and I started walking back. As you can see, I'm still stuttering a little bit. It starts kicking in as I continually talk. Sorry, hit the cord for my headphones. I know, right? I should be centered. I should be. This is not right. Anyways, sorry, I'm having a hard time breathing as well. Okay, sorry, I had to kind of collect myself there for a second. And we're at the 10-minute mark. Damn, son. So I started walking back, and every light that I looked at was very fuzzy. It was not clear. But before I left his place, I had him look in my eye because I looked out to the street and was like, "Oh, those are really fuzzy." And I said, "Are my pupils dilated?" And he said, "Yeah, they are, just a little bit, but yeah, they are." And as I got about halfway back to my friend's place, and I started hearing footsteps, and I started Asian. I started seeing people that were walking down streets, but as soon as they got close to me, they'd just poof away. It was very, very Harry Potter-like, and it scared the shit out of me. So I ran for about 4 or 5 blocks, and increased my heart rate exponentially, and I was scared. Things were fuzzy. Ghost people were around me. I didn't know what to do, and I got back to his place, and I got in. We had a discussion. He said, I would prefer it if you left in the morning, just for the day, and then you can come back at nighttime. And I told him, I can leave it at 7:30 because I'll have to go get a bed, and I'll just stay at the shelter. You don't want me here Sunday night anyways because you have to work the next morning. You don't want me getting in your routine to get ready. I'll just go to the shelter. He was fine with it. Now, I was finally able to get off myself, which is very difficult on methamphetamine, Tina, crystal meth, whatever. And I took a shower and I got ready and I left. But the symptoms continued. I got down to the shelter. I was exhausted. I was dripping in sweat. I felt like shit. I could barely stand. I had to lean against the wall in order to stand, and it felt bad. I got my bed. I signed up for a bed, and then I started walking up to the library, and I could barely get up the hill. It's one street. It's one block, and I could barely get up without wheezing and having to stop at the corner, and I felt like I was dead. My heart was pounding. It was racing. It was probably at about 150 beats per minute, which is unhealthy for most people. But not for you. Don't worry. Thank you, Alexi. So I got to the library and I sat down and I pulled open my phone and I started scrolling through Facebook apps, and people's pictures started moving. It was, again, a Harry Potter moment. Like, I saw a hand twitch or a head move to the side, and I was scared as shit. I thought, this is it. I'm gonna die. I mean, it's not a bad way to die. I had great sex, and then I just keeled over in a library, surrounded by one of my favorite things, books and computers. Obviously, that didn't happen. I'm still here, making this video. Just probably about an hour ago, I told my friend James on Facebook, who's going through recovery, and I told him, I don't understand how this happened. He said, it's normal. This is what happens, and you can't get hooked on it. And I said, I don't want to. I don't want to get hooked on this. I have an IQ of 154. I know when to say no. So, my point of view, I don't understand how people can't say no, because I don't have an addictive personality, contrary to the rest of my family history. My dad's side has, my grandmother smoked a pack a day, and my grandfather drank every night. Those were their crutches. And James and I had the talk, and he said, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to make a YouTube video. I'm going to make it for my viewers, and I'm going to tell them what happened, how scared I was, because quite frankly, I was. I thought I was dying in a library, in a fucking library. So next time you think about, continuing your drug use, think about this video and say to yourself, What would Isaac do? Daniel, Daniel. What would he do? And then say, sorry, yawn. I had about 15 minutes of sleep in 48 hours, and it was in the grass, surrounded by dog poop. That is a low for me. I was surrounded by dog poop. I didn't sleep in the dog poop, but I was surrounded by it. Now, I would say this: don't continue it. Put it down. Give it to somebody. Flush it down the toilet. Blend it. That's what I did to my stepfather's pill. My mom's third husband. He was a pill popper. He shopped pharmacies. He would go to different pharmacies with the same prescription and get it filled multiple times. I took every single prescription bottle that had his name on it, put them in a blender, and then poured it down the sink after I was done. Do that. Do it if you need to. But don't let yourself get sucked into this. Don't give in to peer pressure. First of all, don't sit there and say that you need it, because you don't. You're so better off without it. So it's getting close to my time to go back to the shelter. I need to go actually get my blood pressure taken. So I'm going to go do that. And I hope you all have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you later. And as always, stay gold.